King Kong Raj Planet and the Warrior Story, a superhero full story written by Mantri PRAGADA Markandeyulu. Story and songwriter and a poet Hyderabad, India +919951038880 to email mercandile@gmail.com. This story is meant for movie making purpose. Copyright protected story.
Superheroes. Part 1, King Kong Raj Planet. And the what characters? Mr. King Kong Raj. The evil king, Mr. Vishal. The warrior, Mr. Robert. Right-hand man to Vishal, Mr. Gilbert. Minister to King Kong Raj, Mr. Zumba Asst. To Gilbert. And Joker, Miss Naina. Gilbert, daughter, Miss Anjalina. Aakash, mayor.
The story brief. This story is the battle war at the planet between the evil King Kong Raj and the superhero Vishal, who has some gifted with supernatural powers by the sun god and the queen's angels. At the queen's, he fights with the evil king and defeats the evil king ultimately. An evil King Kong Raj who rules in a planet called King Kong Raj Planet. He troubles and tortures all the people in his planet and robs all their gold, jewelry and diamonds. People of that planet fed up with his rule.
The king's hefty soldiers and army kills women, enjoys, robs and even destroys their properties. The battle is through sword fights, dagger fights, arrow fights and fights with Maya and with the Bing thing too. Please listen to the full story and enjoy this wonderful story.
Superheroes Part 1. Only story and synopsis. Characters: Mr. King Kong Raj, Evil King. Mr. Vishal, the Warrior. Mr. Robert, right hand man to Vishal. Mr. Gilbert, minister to King Kong Raj. Mr. Zumba, assistant to Gilbert and Joker. Miss Naina, Gilbert daughter. Miss Anjalina, Aakash, Maya. Sri Aditya Maharshi, and many Maharshis and Rushis. Many angels at the Queen's planet. Bang thing, an animal like man. Superheroes. The story brief. This story is the battle war at the planet between the evil King Kong Raj and the superhero Vishal, who has some gifted with supernatural powers by the sun god and the queen's angels. At the heavens, queen fights with the evil king and defeats the evil king ultimately. Other superheroes also there in this story as Vishal's army. An evil king, Kong Raj, who rules in a planet called King Kong Raj Planet. He troubles and tortures all the people in his planet and robs all their gold, jewelry and diamonds. People of that planet fed up with his rule. The king's hefty soldiers and army rapes women, enjoys, robs and even destroys their properties. The battle is through sword fights, dagger fights, arrow fights and fights with Maya, that is illusion, and with the Bing thing. Many times the young superhero Vishal attacks the evil king to get defeated, but at the last and in the last long save our souls battle at the evil king's planet, the evil King Kong Raj ultimately gets defeated and dies. The superhero Vishal also gets severely injured and dies. Vishal takes rebirth on the earth as per the blessing of all the Maharshis, Rushis, queens, angels, and the sun god. This is a fiction and paranormal story. This was 1,000 years back memory story. King Kong Raj at a small planet existed near to the heaven. The young hero with his organized army in the planet destroys evil King Kong Raj from a cruel king, eliminates all evils things like Bing Ting, and makes the planet a very peaceful one with the support and help of the sun god and the queen at the queen's heaven. Ultimately, that peaceful planet will become under the control of the Rushis, Marshis, saints, and sadhus who rule that peaceful planet, and people live happily with the blessing of the Almighty. This is a good story which would like by all age people, including children. All war scenes like sword fighting, dagger fighting, arrow fighting, illusion, maya, jadoo fighting could be seen in this story. The evil king dies in the battle. The young hero also dies in the battle war. There are good scenes and subject in this story which included king's right hand minister and other mini stories related to this king's evil elements. The young superhero Vishal and his young team soldiers also die in the battlefield at the planet. With the blessings of the sun god, queens of heaven, and other rishis, marshis, the young superhero takes birth on the earth planet and becomes a medical doctor, and he confronts and combats all sorts of problems and ultimately do service to the common people and needy persons. This story could be made as a Hollywood type feature film. Foreign producers can make this feature film. Thank you. Please listen to the entire story.